What's going on with all those ET carts found in Alamogordo, New Mexico, Ian?
It's kind of cool, actually. After the ET dig, a lot of people were kind of curious as to what was going to go on with the cartridges. People were talking about, were they going to be for sale? You know, were people going to start trying to sell, you know, cartridges online as cartridges that were, you know, pulled from the dump site? And actually, they are the property of Alamogordo, and they're going to sell about 800 of them through various auctions, fundraisers, and they are going to sell some actually through an online, I believe a county store, like an online store. And then they're going to keep about 500 of them as mementos. They're going to give some away to museums around the world that want them. So it's a way for them to raise, the city themselves to raise a little bit of revenue. I'd also like to think that because they're all coming from one source, at least initially, the initial sales of these... Why don't you watch yourself there, big guy? I would like to think the initial sales of
I'm lowering the volume because you're blowing out my eardrums, yeah.
I don't think, whatever. I'd like
initial sales!
Yeah. I'd like to think that, you know, this will cut down on scammers because you'll know what to look for.
Yes.
There's only a few places where you can get them initially, and yes, eventually you will have people, after this sale is long done, that, you know, you might run into a scam, but hopefully it'll come with a certificate or something.
Oh, yeah, I think they'd have to have it signed by whoever was involved with the dig. It looks like what they have... they only had 1,300 that they discovered, or at least that they dug up. 1,300.
Well, 13 of the ET at least.
Yeah, but it sounds like they didn't get out tens of thousands. I don't think they ever cracked that cement layer. Supposedly that was there, that was covering up a big lot of them.
Well, the other thing that they said was there were other places, but basically they did not have a lot of time to dig. It was basically get it right or don't get it at all. I remember that being said when the initial story came out. So they didn't have many chances to dig. There were other spots that they said that they were supposed to be, but they didn't get the chance or the license to excavate there.
So if there's 800 of them, they'd be smart to number each certificate.
Right.
So yes, if they're sold, again, you know which one is which. Versus some asshole throwing his copy in the dirt, a new ET cart, which you can get for like $1, throw it in the dirt and say, this is one of them, you know.
Most of them look like they came out of a dump anyways.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, that would be smart. I don't know what these are going to sell for. Do you have any interest in owning one as a piece of history or not really?
You know what? Actually, when I was reading it, and I've never been a person who had a ton of love for the 2600. Now, the 5200 I love.
Which is weird to me.
I do. I'm sorry.
No one should love the 5200.
I love the 5200. I mean, I kind of would, depending on what they wanted for them. I think it's kind of neat, depending on how they present it, package it, what you get with it. It's an interesting piece of game history. It's a movie that I'm not hugely fond of on a system that I don't particularly care for, but the story is cool.
You're not fond of the movie? What a shock that a beloved children's movie would not warm your black heart.
It made me very sad as a kid. I haven't watched it as an adult.
Oh, because he left?
It was really sad for me to watch that movie as a child.
What made you sad?
The whole movie made me sad when he was like all sick and sad and dying, and oh my god, in the hospital. I'm getting all upset about it right now. If I watched it now as an adult, maybe I'd like it a lot better. This is not me being like cold and affected. This is the movie was too traumatizing for me as a child. Which
could be worse, actually, because you took it the way no other kid probably took the movie. But yeah, this is cool. Like I said, I saw the documentary that Microsoft Studios is putting out. Is it even out by now? And this is probably something that you'll see, I guess, once these are put online. There'll be a flurry. If I had to guess how much each of these is going to go for, it depends. If they do like a Dutch auction for 800, you'll get some asshole probably try to buy like 200 himself, 300 to try to resell. Right. I guarantee you. That happened with the Turlock Rage Wars a few years ago. Out of the 100 or so, 150, I'm sure a couple of assholes bought like 30 or 40 each, you know.
Yeah.
So they can keep them and try to sell them now for like, they sold for $20 now, try to sell them for like 200 each. You know, I'm sure there's guys that just want to. It's capitalism. You can do what you want. Yeah, you're still a douchebag. I don't care if it's capitalism or communism, whatever.
Throat your fist. I actually had a guy call once who had a gray cartridge of Turlock Rage Wars, and he asked me how much I'd give for it, and I said I don't know. I said I'm not particularly interested in it, and he was like, "Well, I'm looking for at least 150." Yeah, so and I said, "Yeah, go elsewhere."
You can look for however much you want. Doesn't mean you're going to get it from Ian at Luna Video Games. 2 locations in San. I'm doing Ian's live read.
Poorly.
We never do a Luna live read for the marathon, do we?
We don't.
We should do that this year. We're gonna change it. I'm gonna write up my own.
Oh no, we do it for the marathon.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
Oh, we do. Okay.
Yeah.
So in closing, I guess these are interesting. I'm just interested to see how it plays out with the auction, how they're gonna release them, basically.
Sure.